thing up. Let's roll, baby. Yeah, let's get this thing going, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We live like 95. You guys know how this thing go. Yeah, this is your brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover, but keep it cool with you guys. You guys see the phone number up at top. If you have access to a phone line, I have the law line, 515-739-1448. The access code is 739202. Try to give that phone a ring, and you guys can tune in too as well, so that we can go over this roster breakdown. Pretty much, the Cowboys went the way that we didn't think that they were going to go. They went with three quarterbacks, and they went with a plethora of wide receivers, as well as we can see here on this chart as well. They went with two running backs, and a lot of people were saying, okay, Law, why did they only went with two running backs? But you failed to realize they got a fullback too as well, Jamez Olawale. I'm telling you, Jamez is a guy that you can flex to the H back, and as well as run as a fullback and as a actual running back. So he has a plethora of skill sets within his frame, within his mind. So there's always things that we can take a look at as far as that being positive. It is what it is. I do know that they went out and got a veteran safety, Ibrahim Campbell. Nobody that you can really just say, okay, he's world class, he's going to be the guy that's going to step it up and be up, because he was cut, I think, by the Cleveland Browns, also cut by the Texans. He's just a journeyman, just a body. I don't know why they just don't want to pull resources together to get players that's more proven than him. And I'm not even going to mention his name, because you guys know who he is, right? You guys know who he is. You know, you got the Reeds out there of the world. We had other players out there that we could have went out and got that can help the bottom line of this team. And it's all about bottom line. If you can figure out a way to improve the bottom line on your team, you can improve a plethora of things out there. Like I said before, guys, this is a journey now. We got 1 week to install the offense and what we're going to look like. We got 1 week to see what this defense is going to look like, whether it be a defense that's going to attack to the ball, fly up to the field. We understand the philosophy, the overall philosophy of Kris Richard. And I think that the only weaknesses that we have on this defense will still be, case in point, the defensive tackle, the ability to play up tight, up close within that front four. That's where the biggest question mark at. And then you can throw in the fact of we having these issues with the safety. They going around picking out parts that we really don't know that's going to fit, because there's just no proven commodity. Give me a proven commodity and I will be happy. I will hush, and I will just be sitting there still and sitting there saying to myself, this Cowboys team can make it far. But you know, Abraham Campbell, I don't know what he's going to bring to the team. He recorded 0 interceptions, never led the team in tackles. So he's a journeyman, and it is what it is. Shout out to those who's in the chat box. Thank you guys for following it and tuning into the channel and to the network. I really appreciate you all. We are streaming live now on the Dallas Prospect, Phantom, and also the Silver and Blue Nation and Big Game James page. You guys can go there if you want to join in as far as the you know, the comment sections. It'll be over here on the Law Nation's Facebook panel. We got Bobby McLean, Ted Mitchell, Max, thank you for tuning in too as well. Who's this? Vincent Bobo, thank you for tuning in. Winchester, thank you all for tuning in on this wonderful and beautiful Sunday. All right, so let me go over to the come on, there you go. We got it now. Over here on the chat box, live like 95. B Rob, first person that's to be over here to lay it down over there. Thank you for tuning in. That let me know that you're part of the notification squad. And then we have Young, my boy Wilson. What's up? DJ Chill, Will Evans. Law, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. And Mac, thank you for being part of the nation. Wiggle Bell. Hey, 7 pounds, 7 linebackers with the question mark. Yeah, we went with that. And the linebacking core It's the strength of this team during the offseason. That's the remarkable thing. The linebacking core is the strength. We look at this. Allen Hurns. We have yet to see a full body of work with Allen Hurns, 5-year starter out here in the NFL. We going to have to see what he can do. Tavon Austin, we still have slight reservations on Tavon Austin. We didn't see a full body of work during preseason on him. We saw some flashes during the training camps during the Oxnard, but we have yet to see like a full body of work with him. So these two guys right here alone, we have a big what you call question mark on them, and then rightfully so. We should have that down there in the mix. Don't forget about the caller number 515-739-1448. I'm not talking about the first 48. Terrence Williams, we understand what he can do. We understand his knowledge of the game. Michael Gallup. I think that when this comes down to it, this guy around week 3, week 4, maybe week 5, we would see like, okay, that number 13. Now, as far as the first game, it may be something that we have to really scratch our heads on, because he may just still be shaking off the legils. He still may be nervous a little bit. Noah Brown, I mean, the hamstring monster went and got him. So it's one of those things, too, that we're going to have to figure out, okay, will he be like a day 1 starter? Maybe he not make the 46. He may be one of the guys that we're going to have to bring about maybe week 2, week 3 down the line. Maybe he's not going to be ready week 1. And what we need to do is looking at the Panthers talk this week. We're going to be looking at their film. We're going to be breaking down their players, who they have on their team, their matchups. We're going to figure out what will be the weaknesses for their team. Now, we understand that when we playing against the Panthers, the best thing that you can do is contain and keep number 1 inside the pocket, Cam Newton. You got to keep him inside. So, and then we got to, with the Panthers, when you're playing against the Panthers, it's all about momentum. If you can jump out and get ahead of Cam Newton, then you will be in the right places out there. Cole Beasley, we understand what he can do. We understand his temperament out there in the field. Now, this is the thing. They tried this. They tried this for 2 years straight now, moving Cole Beasley to the outside. And I've been telling you guys that the wide receivers that we developed in the past 10 years been nobody. And this is just me speaking the truth. I can speak falsehoods to you, but I don't do that right on here. I don't see Cole Beasley being able to catch the ball onto the outside still. I just don't see it. We have yet to see it during practice, training camp. We have yet to see it during a preseason game, Cole Beasley catching the ball on the outside. The last time Cole Beasley caught a ball on the outside, meaning a full route that's on the outside that he won and beat the guy, was against the Chicago Bears in 2016. And if you think I'm lying, find a tape where he beat, I guess, the opposition on the outside and made a pass, and caught the pass. Just let me know, and I'll hush my mouth and I'll go back and we will look at that film and evaluate that film, and we'll put it out there so that everybody can see. Cole Beasley is a quote-unquote inside-only guy. He's not like the Julian Edelman guy. He's not like the Wes Welker. He's not those guys. We like to put him in that box because of the way he looked like and the way he run his routes, but he's not that guy that you can put onto the outside. And I don't want to hear the fact that we talking about we don't have a quarterback to pass him the ball on the outside. We just don't have that. It's just that even when Cole Beasley was playing, when we had Tony Romo out there, he wasn't catching the ball on the outside of the field. So that's just his skill set. He's an inside, short, intermediate route runner with short area quickness. And I'm telling you, he's dangerous one-on-one. You have to scratch your head and you have to figure out, do you put the linebacker on Cole, or do you fool around and put your safety on Cole? And then you have to understand this. Do you put your free or do you put your strong on Cole? So, they came out with the best philosophy, and that was to bracket coverage Cole Beasley. And when you bracket coverage Cole, you taking the guy that's underneath maybe a hard jam with a linebacker or one of your slot corners, and then you move around and have the actual free safety or strong safety to float him on the outside, so he can't go inside out. The best thing to beat that is actually when they ran the Lucky Whitehead reverse sweep. You can. It's hard to bracket cover someone when they are in motion and when they reverse sweep, because you have so much responsibility and dependability on that particular player that you're trying to bracket, and that reverse will free up a lot of things, and then you'll see a play that's wide open down the line. I'm seeing a little love over here. Thank you guys for showing the hearts over here on the Facebook panel. I thank you guys for tuning in to the nation. Eric, thank you for tuning in. Jamal Anderson, Live Like 95, Malcolm and Diego, thank you all for tuning in. Yes, Cole Beasley will have to step this part up on his game, but it's going into his year. Let's see how many years Cole's been into this thing. 7 to 8 years. That's a long time, guys. It's hard. Remember this. Old folks used to say this all the time. It's easier to bend a tree when it's young, but when that tree get old, it's sturdy, it's strong, it's hard to bend. It begins to break before you can move it. Now, Cole did say during this offseason that this year was the first year he learned the actual concepts of route running. Ain't that crazy? Y'all talk about my country talking. Ain't that crazy? You know, that's so crazy for him to be in his 7 to 8 year, or going into his 7th year, and he's still learning the concepts of routes. And we all know that Cole Beasley is an excellent route runner, but now it's concepts that you add into that, which is a remarkable thing. Shout out to my Cowboys family. You guys follow their page, follow their channel. They shoot live videos each and every day. That's wonderful. What's up, Jesse? Thank you for tuning in too as well. The Ghost of Flatbush, thank you for tuning in as well. Shout out to where you guys are from. Anybody from Oak Cliff in the house, Richardson, Texas, let me know. Let me know where you guys are from so we can give you a shout out to your proper states and cities, things like that. You guys know how this thing go. All right, so let's move it on a little bit further. Dalton. This is the thing. I think we overdrafted with tight end. I think we made a move on this tight end, whereas we shouldn't have to go out there and get a Dalton Schultz. And this is the thing. 6'5", 244 pounds. He's 22 years old. He's a rookie. He's still got to go through his growing pains. Yes, he can block, but you know, blocking is cool and all. But we going to need a little bit more out of you. You know, I didn't see him as a threat out there in the passing game, and you don't want to show your hand, especially when you're playing this sport. When you see number 86 roll out there, and you say to yourself, "Okay, run, let's load up the box. They're going to run. I'm not worried about this guy catching the ball out of the backfield." And he had problems and issues getting off the line. He just didn't show me anything. Now, they went with 4 tight ends, and I think that a lot of times when you're in this situation, when you become the GM, or when you are the GM, you really, when you're in the scouting department, you really don't want to fall on the sword and say, well, I made a mistake here, guys. You know, and not saying that Dalton Schultz is a horrible pick in a sense, but where we got him, I think he was a 4th round draft pick, so it was kind of too rich for him at that point. I think that you could have got a legitimate safety at that position, or you could have got a legitimate defensive tackle, believe it or not, somebody that you know for sure that you can groom and put into the inside. But that's just my rationale. I'm not the guy that's making decisions for the Cowboys. And some of you guys are going to say, thank God you're not. But it's just one of those things, guys. Don't look for him to even start on week 1. Just look for him to be around into the mix around, I guess, I would say week 5, maybe week 6 or 7, something like that down the line. That's just how it goes, man. And Rico, my God, can we just pause on everything and stop what we're talking about? This guy, Rico, sometimes you can have the opportunities, and I have yet to read the entire report on Rico. But this is the thing. By Rico making his team, and by, you know, a lot of times people was very upset about the fact that he was arrested the night before, things like that. This is the problem that I have. It sets the wrong tone. And they say this, you know, trouble finds ways to follow those who are in the mix or close to it. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't smoke weed or weed should be illegal and things like that, but there's opportunities that you have that a lot of people, I would say 99.9%, and that's in the chat box or that's in the Facebook panel, just don't have. This guy can change the complexity or the whole entire atmosphere of his entire family by playing a sport. Get this, playing a sport. not digging ditches, not laying asphalt around, not climbing up on roofs and guess putting up framework and out there in the blistering sun. We're talking about playing a sport that can change your life. And there's a difference between making a bad decisions and a mistake. This was a bad decision on his behalf, whether he was not smoking the marijuana or smoking the marijuana or not having the marijuana, whatever it may be. I don't have the full details, but for you to be arrested for those type of things that's been in your close proximity during the heightened moment of this team, because we already know what Randy Gregory went through. We already know how Roger Goodell cast his shadow upon Ezekiel Elliott. So there's somewhere that you have to horn in all of your, I guess, feelings and things that you would do off the field and say to yourself, okay, my main focus is to play this sport, because I know for sure that I only got like a 3 to 4 year. The average football player is 3 years. That if I can act right for at least this amount of time and get this money, then I can be set for life. And then after my career, I can blaze a bush if I want to. I can blaze and chop down trees. I can go move to Colorado and I could just set up shop out there as long as I want, you know. But neither here nor there. It's just what it is. He's on his team now, and looking at his football traits, his ceiling is so high, you know. They have him listed at 6'6", 285 pounds. He's 24 years old. He's going into his second year, going into his third or what have you. And he's one of those guys that we know for sure that if he can just horn in and stay focused, he could be one of the better tight ends in this National Football League. But sometimes your mind get in the way. And if you don't have those true disciplined thoughts, then you will find yourself out the window. And I don't think that he have a long rope. He got a real short rope with this team. Rico has played for 2 years and got paid. This is young Wilson, but he got paid peanuts compared to what he would get paid if he was to actually show up and show out, young Wilson. But I feel what you're saying. Yeah, he played for 2 years, got a lot of money, but you know, his contracts is still, he'd probably be teetering right at it being a millionaire, you know, and that money can be here today, gone tomorrow. We understand how that money can just go fly by real quick. Yes. Thank you all for tuning in too as well. DJ Chill. Basically, yes. Jesse Ortiz, they putting Travis on IR. Hopefully you'll pick him back up during the middle of the year. Yeah, that would be a wonderful thing. Travis going to IR is still cool. Let me move over to here on the Facebook panel. Elite, thank you guys for tuning in over here too as well. All right, we got Bale. Lynch is better than Rush. Are you guys talking about, are you advocating? Are you saying that we should go out and grab a Patrick Paxton? I think that's how you say his man's name, Lynch. Oh, wow. No. No. I hope that's not. I hope I'm reading that wrong. But did the Broncos, did they get rid of Paxton? Did they release Lynch? Jerry's guy, did they release him? That would be funny if we do go out there and get him. All right, so moving a little bit further on down, Blake. Blake, out of the guys, well, Jeff Swain, I think that he probably know the playbook more than the other 3 tight ends out there. He may be the guy that's going to be starting when it comes around week 1 in the following days. He may be the guy. You may see number 87 out there, or it could be a toss-up between number 87 and number 89. Both of those guys are knowledgeable of this particular offense. Jarwin is a little green with it, but Jeff Swain for sure. I do know that he knows his offense. He's battling the war of attrition. If he can stay healthy, then we may see a little spark out of him as far as tight end sets. And on top of that, we need to ask Ezekiel Elliott, who he likes to run with when he's out there on the field. It's all about that rapport and continuity. So hopefully we can just see a little bit better out of Blake and Jeff Swain. But they decided to go with these 4 tight ends. And one can say maybe they should have went with 3 tight ends, and they should have went with 2 quarterbacks, not the 3 quarterbacks. But we're talking about that once we get a little bit further on down. Cam Fleming, this is the thing. He probably need to get rid of that number 75. He still look like the resurrections of Byron Bell out there, and I just didn't like what I've seen from him so far. So hopefully, and I mean deep down in my heart, hopefully we don't see him as much out there, and he can just be the swing tackle at times when we need to get into those heavy run sets, and we can see him out there then. But outside of that, if Tyron Smith can have a good bill of health, and if La'el Collins can be healthy, we're looking at a nice looking setup with these tackles that's on the team. So we actually have 3 tackles on this team, guys. La'el Collins and Tyron Smith, and there's the swing tackle, Cam. Moving a little further, Tyree Robinson. Look up at his film sessions that I did on him, the film sessions that I did on him. He's a guy that demands, and I'm talking about demands, attention out there on the field when he was playing for Oregon. He's one of those guys that we can say that down the line, even looking at him, he's 6'3", 6'4"-ish, around that height. He wears number 23. I mean, now that you insert him with this secondary, hopefully around year 2, we can see some like major growth with him when he fill out that body and frame. He's going to go through some rookie pains, but we just don't look for him to start. He's a good, decent backup player out there that will be beneficial to the team. Let's see what we got over here in the chat box. Lynch is slow reading defense. Yeah, this is Shogun Drummond. Yeah, Lynch is slow reading the defense. Who else we have? Trade Sean for Earl. This is from DJ. Do you guys agree with trading Sean Lee for Earl Thomas? Give me a yes or give me a no. Because if all we have to do is really just be patient and wait, Sean Lee this might be his last year. This might be his last year. Or, we can just sit back and wait and let Earl Thomas come to us. He's 29, close to 30. I think that, a lot of people saying no. Some people, Alex T saying hell no. Max saying hell no. He's singing me a tune over there. Yeah, so Carrot is all over the place. This is from my Cowboys family. Seattle has Bobby Wagner. I don't think that they would need Sean Lee in a trade for Earl Thomas anyhow. That's from Stevie Mac 23. Yeah, I agree. He shouldn't be into the talks of being traded. Sean Lee is the voice of reasonings out there in the defense. When he's out there in the field, when he's healthy, I think the win to loss ratio is like 8-1, like 8-2, something like that. Like when Sean Lee is out there, we winning games. We are winning games. It's just that when he goes down and lay down and don't get back up, then we have these little issues. We have the Atlanta Falcons game. We have the Chargers game from last year. When Sean Lee is not in there, guys, or when he's limping and gimping around, we don't have the same type of defense. But hopefully, we fix these little issues right there, and we fix these little issues, and we have a Joe Thomas of the world. We have him out there that can help us out and get us in the right path. Because Joe Thomas, man, the guy been showing up and showing out all through preseason and training camp and practices. Number 48. I'm gonna call him the first 48. Joe Thomas, man. I mean, Jay Thomas. He's one of those guys. I say yes. Seahawks wouldn't do it. Like you said, Law Nations 2.0. Wait till next year. This is from TYR. Wait till next year. Yes. We should wait till next year. He's eventually going to come to us. Shouldn't stress it. Should not rush it. David Irving is a first for Earl Thomas. Look, we put David Irving out there on the chopping blocks before all of the mine situation came about, and we had a deal out there for him. Was it a second round pick that we put that on him during the draft, and nobody bit to that bait. So that goes to show you that a lot of teams, although we covet a player, a lot of teams look at it like, you know what, I would rather deal with the devil I know than to deal with somebody who's shopping David Irving that we don't know. And now we're looking back at everything. There's been whispers out there that David Irving might not play this entire year. It's going to be something else that might pop up. So all I can say is we can have high hopes for David Irving. It just can be one of those things, but he just may not play this entire year. We can wait and say, wait till week 5, wait till week 5, wait till week 5. David Irving is going to be out there wreaking havoc and all this stuff. But we have to, as a team, just say to ourselves, count him out, make it like it. Hey, expect the worst for David Irving so that we won't be felt or hit with the blind side on this thing, and we can just move on forward from there. The next player on this list right here is Xavier Woods. Hamstring monster. Look for Xavier Woods to come around week 3, maybe week 4. And if we can get him out there, there'll be a plus. We know what Jeff Heath. I'm already predicting this year. I'm predicting Jeff Heath had one of the better camps throughout the entire Dallas Cowboys offseason. Jeff Heath, number 38, 6-year starter, 6-year pro, 6'1", 212 pound Jeff Heath. I think that this would be the year that Jeff Heath makes it to the Pro Bowl. And I say this because everybody flying out to the ball. I say this because now that the cornerbacks, the defensive backs that's out there on the outside, they playing so pressed, they playing so tight up on the line, that frees up your free safety to make room to make plays, and for the quarterback to rush through his throws. You'll see him catch a little bit more interceptions this year. And I think I'm really high on Jeff Heath again. You know, I'm telling you guys, Jeff Heath, he's an X factor for this defense. Believe it or not. Boomer Sooner, thank you for tuning in. Alex T, thank you for commenting too as well. 2.0, I see you out there. What about hamstrings? Is this a SOB's deal here? Just, hey, them hamstrings something else, man. We need to craft up some T-shirts and say, hey, the hamstring killers, you know, and just put the silver and blue and put a star on it and just send those T-shirts out during training camp next year and say who's going to get hit by the hamstring monster, you know. Kayvon, we understand him. He's battling shoulder issues right now. Hopefully he can overcome that. Hopefully we can see him week 1. Maybe he'll be limited to plays, and you'll see a mixture of number 23, who is Tyree Robinson, and as well as Kayvon out there on the field. Or they may use Abraham Campbell, you know, the guy that, you know, they just picked up. I would do a few film sessions on him later on today. Hopefully, if I have time. Time been my enemy. One of the running backs, Rod Smith, is just going to be a good spell back. A guy that you put in when Ezekiel Elliott needs some wind out there. And that's what Rod Smith is going to be. 6'3", 230 pounds. You know, no guy. Mike White, Cooper Rush, these two quarterbacks right here, they didn't separate each other. You know, they look exactly the same to me. It's just that if you was to go with a quarterback, you'll go with the younger guy, Mike White, since their tags or whatever their deal. Everybody was looking at their tape, and it seems like they didn't separate one another. It just seemed to me that Mike White was a little bit better this offseason, and Cooper Rush regressed. And it just happened, you know. Second year quarterback, maybe he going through the second year slumps, you know. It's one of those things where, or this is his second year, right? Cooper Rush. So it is what it is. Dak Prescott, we know that the team itself, we need Dak Prescott to be healthy, and he's showing us throughout the whole entire ride that he was able to stay into this mix and stay healthy. Hopefully, we can have that trend to continue. Dak Prescott, we didn't see a full body of work with him all this preseason nor training camp. We saw some glimpses of him trying to figure out better foot mechanics and techniques with different throwing mechanics too as well. So hopefully down the line, come in a few following days, that we can see the 2016 Dak Prescott. Because if not, then it's back to the drawing boards. Guys, there's 1,184 players out there. Let me know if you know of any veteran notable quarterbacks that's out there that we may still have to turn that rock over and bring them into the Cowboys camp. There should be somebody quarterback out there that we may take a real good look at, because if we are sold on Cooper Rush and Mike White, then there's a problem. And then also we do understand this right here, that when David Irving gets back on his roster, we really gonna have to figure out who's going to get cut. There's somebody that's not going to make this team altogether when David Irving gets back. So keep that into the crevices of your mind. Keep that in thoughts. Chris Jones, the Punisher, we know he's solid. He's solid for right now. We just don't want him to go through what Dan the Money Man Bailey just went through. Dan had 1.5 bad year, right? And the team canned him, and they let you know that we with a different philosophy as far as holding on to players. Now I do know we're holding on to Cooper Rush and Mike White right now, but we with a different philosophy. So Chris Jones, hopefully he don't go through no weird injury, and we can keep him on this deal. LP Laddersor, I mean, I must tell you guys, this guy been on this team forever. I think he's one of the last guys from the Parcells era that's still on his team. Ain't that amazing? 14 years, 15, 14, something like that years. Are you talking about Jay Cutler out there? No. Kaepernick. This is from R. Phillips. Kaepernick would have been a great pickup for us last year. Davis Webb, Cardale Jones. I don't know. Trevor Simeons, or Simeons, Dallas Dog. Is it Trevor Simeons? That's how you say his name. Simmons would be nice on this team. And if those who out there who like Romo, you guys like Tony Romo, you like Trevor Simeons. And here's why. He's a guy. He's Romo with a weaker arm, and he's Romo with less mobility. But I think that he's accurate and he can put the ball on the money. Now, the problem is with him, he will hear those footsteps if the offensive line cave on him. That's his problem. You guys remember week 2 last year. He carved us up. And that's not a real easy task to do. He was able to find and of course, he dinked and dunked a little bit too as well. But, what quarterback don't. So he'll be a good seasoned guy to be in the backup of the backups for our team. But it is what it is, man. Or would we have to trade for him? I don't know if he's out there on the streets, then we should pick him up. Josh Dobbs. I need to look at Josh Dobbs' tape, but I think Josh is a decent backup. We talking about backups, guys, that can help this team out down the line. Josh Dobbs may be the guy. Let me know. Let me pull around to the Facebook panel, man. I really appreciate you guys for commenting and putting your thoughts out here. Heath is a beast. It's from Chris Hart Jr. Yes. Jay, what's going on? The Cowboys will not, and he capitalized not, have any other secondary in the Pro Bowl, you can book that. He put hashtag book it. You can book it. This is from Jay Reish. He's out there. Max Julian, I can't wait to see the quarterback substitution unfold. Laugh out loud. This is Arturo replying to Max on the Facebook panel, as well as Jace. If that goes down, Garrett will suit up. Yeah, believe it or not, Garrett probably be the best quarterback on this team as far as backups. All right, Chris Covington. They didn't want to fall on the sword with Chris. I have yet to see anything with number 59, and they picked him up. Maybe they see some things that I can't see, or maybe they see some things that we just didn't see all together collectively. Let me know what you guys think of number 59, Chris Covington. Do he deserve a spot on this roster? Is he the guy that we can really look back on and say, okay, all right, it was a good pickup during the draft, and we're going to move down to the guy with the neck. LVE number 55, double nickel, 6'4", and all this stuff, right? Will he start week 1? That answer to that question is no. I don't see LVE out there. Maybe week 4, week 5. And he got to get out there as far as playing time, because somebody's we're going to hear the echoes coming down and the whispers of saying, hey, that guy that we drafted with the 19th overall pick. And then we kind of reach a little bit for that because we don't see anything moving around. Now, if Jalen Smith plays light out, and if Joe Thomas just continue to do what he's doing out there, and if Sean Lee just doing his magic out there, and if this guy right here, number 53, Justin March Lillard, if he continue to do what he's doing out there, maybe, just maybe, LVE can slide on by, and we don't talk about LVE and those other fashions of being a But it takes time for linebackers to learn this craft, and maybe we can put a placeholder on him in year 2. We can see some amazing skill sets and plays from him when this guy decided to hang it up, Sean Lee. So we'll see though. This guy right here, Joe Thomas, just been balling, man. Just balling. First 48. That's his nickname, guys. All right, the guy that everybody's going to be tuned in for the first kick. The first field goal kick, everybody, their mama's uncle, cousin is going to be looking at Brett. And I'm not talking about Brett Favre. I'm talking about Brett Maher. We're going to be looking at him and just dissecting every move, every kick. And so far, he's been on the money. When he nailed that 57-yarder, everybody was saying, okay, how can we let this guy walk? He's going to make this team one way or another. And they decided to go with the youth versus, Dan the Money Man. And trust me, guys, we hate to see guys who've been a pillar of the Cowboys community, a guy that's been lights out for us, winning games with his foot, and methodically, even when the coach try to freeze their own kicker, he still nails those long kicks. But he regressed in a sense, and he had a year and a half of bad seasonings, and now we have Brett. So everybody's going to be looking for number 2. That's a cold number. I like number 2 though. I like that number. 2 is a good number. Trade LVE for Earl and picks. No, don't do that. Amrit, don't trade LVE for Earl. Earl is right around the corner. LVE got a long. What if LVE becomes the Urlacher? What if LVE becomes like the real talk? Like this year long. Of course, he's trying to soak in all this stuff. What the coaching staff is trying to bring to him. I mean, his ceiling is so high. Although I just don't like the fact that we drafted a guy and we're going to have to say to ourselves, it's his entire rookie year. It's hard for him to find room out there on the field. But you just don't trade away. Now, if you do trade him to the Seattle Seahawks, they will have to give us a first round or 2 first round draft picks for LVE, and I don't think they're going to do that, or at least a first and a second or something, man. I just wouldn't do that. Too soon to get rid of LVE. This is from Sean George. Yeah, man, it's too soon. The guy have yet to play it. What happened if we put him in, week 1 and he picks off the ball 3 times? Wouldn't that be crazy? And we sitting there saying to ourselves, where does this guy come from? Because I can argue the same fact. This is the opposite team. And since Odell Beckham is from my region, from the South, he played for LSU, so I saw the kid grew up into the guy that he is now. During training camp, a lot of people was like, although his expectations, remember this, the guy that plays for the, I forgot his man's name, but neither here nor there. I mean, all through the Giants training camp that year, he had hamstring injuries, and nobody saw Odell Beckham at all run routes, run plays, and everything. And people would start scratching their heads and saying, hey, this number 13 guy. I mean, we went and got a wide receiver for what? That's what the Giants was talking about. And then when he started coming to the mix of playing an actual game, they're saying, okay, this guy's next level. And then he made that one catch against Brandon Yu's car, and the rest is history. So, I mean, all we got to do is just sit back and wait, man. And let's say maybe week 8, week 9, we can start having these talks about LVE. I started giving some people to have these talks about LVE. Who else we have? LVE and Jalen Smith. Kadeem was released, correct? No, I thought Kadeem is still on his team. They might have released Kadeem to pick up the other guy. I could be wrong. This could be a dated chart that I'm looking at. I think they might have moved Kadeem Edwards for someone else today. So it could be a dated chart, because I don't think that they have, this is a dated chart, because they don't have the new guy, Abram, on this team so far on this chart. But it is what it is. Brian Price, I hope he's still on this team, and Antoine Woods, he needs to be on his team. Zach Martin, we understand what he can do. They have 1, 2, 3 guards on this team. Connor Williams, Kadeem. Allegedly, Kadeem is gone right now. Let me know. Yeah. Yo, today they released Kadeem. Okay, let me see if I can do a little refresh on this thing. I've been having this thing open. Let's see if we can do a refresh. Let me see. Refresh it. And we're going to go all the way up. We can go all the way up. And we're going to go by numbers. What I went by position. We're going to sort by positioning. Let's go down. Yeah, see? Abraham Campbell. 4-year guy. So, yeah, this is the updated deal. A little refresh, right? And let's see who they got in Kadeem's spot. How many guards they got out there? 1, 2, and who the guy we picked up? It's this guy right here, Adam Redmond. I remember reading that. He's a center / guard, so he got position flex. Went to Harvard. From what I'm seeing here, he's 6'6", 300 pounds. He's 25 years old. Adam Redmond is the guy that we picked up. I guess he's a brilliant, intelligent guy. And we understand that. Let's look at the reserve did not report. There's David Irvin on this list. Reserve injured Marcus Martin. So they reserving Marcus Martin. They have high hopes for Marcus and Jamil Showers. They got him still on his team, and Cedric. He got the Boise State insurance, so he's not going anywhere. All right, so let's see here. Defensive end. Where were we? We were around Daniel Ross. He surprised me because this other guy Reed, number 93. He was showing up, and they released him the other day or what have you. But I thought that Reed would have got a better shot. Cajun or Cancun or something like that. Reed, he was showing up, man, and they're gonna roll with this guy Daniel Ross. So not Rick Ross, Daniel Ross. Jamez Olawale. Remember that name. When we see that pro set up running back set, you're gonna look for number 49 and Ezekiel Elliott out there in the backfield. And we're going to see some running. We're going to see some smash mouth football, baby. And we still might go with a 2 tight ends out of that package, which we will call a 22 personnel. Well, look out for that. Look out for some stuff like that, and we'll see that. Especially powerhouse football. So you can throw in Swaim and you can throw in Schultz, have Ezekiel Elliott, and also number 49 out there. And it may be something medieval. Look at that defensive tackle. Daniel Ross, and we have Malik. Hopefully we will see him week 1. And Tyron Crawford. Finds ways to be on this team, man. He's the veteran, Dorrance Armstrong. He still got number 74 right now. Of course, we know he may not wear that number, but I'm looking for him. He was the defensive player of the last preseason game. Had 2 tackles for loss, 4 tackles altogether, 1 sack. Just the guy. Remember his name, D.A. Or DJ. That's what his family members call him. But D.A. is what I'm going to call him. And Dorrance Armstrong is out there. So he made the team. Elite Rob, man, thank you for tuning in. The latest on Rico arrest. You guys are going to have to inform me on that. Oh, Price was released too? Man. They still, maybe they still like him. That's why he's still on this little deal. Cause I just saw his name, right? I just saw Brian Price. I think they probably got rid of him because he was the guy that was body slammed and didn't get back up and showed any aggressions for that body slam. I thought I saw his name. So you may be right. Maybe they got rid of Brian Price too as well. That's interesting. Maybe they got rid of Brian for Adam, and they got rid of Kadeem Edwards for Campbell. So yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So 2 practice squad spots open. Hopefully they can put McKay on there. Hopefully McKay don't get picked up by someone else. But thank you, man. Thank you guys, man, for putting out there that Brian Price was the other guy that got released. I like big bodies inside, but if you're a big body and you're not pushing the pocket back, then there's still a problem. All right, so we got about 7 minutes left on the docket, man. So I'm just going to do a little quick Q&A. Nobody wanted to call in to the nation. That's okay. 515-739-1448. And then the access code is 739-202. You can call in and put your thoughts out there, and we can go over those things about, what you feel about the team, the temperament, what your thoughts, what's your predictions of the team record is going to be, what to look for week 1. Will Ezekiel Elliott get 100 yards week 1? Is that the goal for Ezekiel Elliott? How many touchdowns would Ezekiel Elliott get? First and foremost, what would he do in that fashion? Those type of things. It's what we're looking for as far as Ezekiel Elliott. Let me see if I can move this thing around. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the nation, man, all the time, man. It's always a pleasure. But I want to pull up this chat box so everybody can see what you guys are putting out there as it relates to Cowboys content. And I'm almost there. Amen to y'all, man. Let me see. Where is it? Bam. Got that there. Where that chat box at? Come on, chat box. Not able to put the chat box up there. I'll give it one more shot. I wish I don't have no producer here. It's just me rolling by myself. And I'm not able to put the chat box up. That sucks. on this thing, but it's all good. Maybe this is right here. No, that's not it. Oh man. All right, so I'm gonna have to read it out here, and you're saying Sean George, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. The O-line is beat up, so maybe more. Wiggle Bell's giving me the clap on, clap off emojis. Yes, what I'm talking about. We need free safeties and strong safety too, and also one tech. Yes. Nothing but the best. I try to be. Tell me what's on your mind. What's on y'all mental, man? How many touchdowns Dak Prescott get? Or how many interceptions do we pick off? You know, we're going to keep it positive, right? What we got over here on the Facebook panel? Thank you guys for tuning in. Tony, thank you for tuning in. Kelvin, what's going on, man? The process, but it's a process, but in the building, foundations, yes. Chad Holmes, yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to read that on the back end. Samuel, what's going on? Who got cut today? They said Brian Price got cut today. Kadeem Edwards. Player acquisition is 365. That's every day, 24/7. Gotta do it, man. 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. This is from Davis Driver. Yeah, man, that would be nice, man. That's pretty good, you know. That's some good stats, man. He had 22 touchdowns last year. Are you adding in rushing touchdowns, or are you just saying that these are all throwing touchdowns? 32 touchdowns, because you got to give Dak Prescott at least, I would say 4 or 5 actual rushing touchdowns. Dak, this is from TYR. He says 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Seems about right, you know. I would say 32 total pass / rush touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 1,700 rushing yards, 2,300 total yards, 20 touchdowns. My God, Dak, 3,500 yards passing in the air, and 25 touchdowns. That ain't bad. And 6 interceptions. Young Wilson. That sounds about cool. Elite Rob, what's up, man? Yeah, appreciate you, man. He's like, I don't know about this beat, man. You know, gotta jam out to this beat. All right, Pedro, what's going on? Last chat I had, Panthers fans, their offensive line wasn't as stout. So the D should ball out. He said his defense. The defense need to ball out. The defense need to do something out there, man. The defense should do something out there. The Panthers have the best, and he's saying the absolute best front 7. Yeah, put it out there, man. Personal stats don't matter as long as we win. What matters? Personal stats only matter like when people try to use a debate down the line. You know, people say, "Well, the 8-8 and 8-8 and 8-8 is cool," but you know, look at these stats here. You know, but that's when personal stats matter, right? We don't care about the wins and all this stuff. Because when I was out there saying that, okay, Dak Prescott got these amount of wins and only 10 lost, and then really he only had 9 lost, but you know, a lot of people was like, he still can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Let's look at these personal stats. He can't throw the ball, you know. But I'm saying, I believe exactly what you're saying. It's all about that W, winning the game. That's what matters. That's what we need to soak in and bring home, is that W one way or another. Hey, this is the Dallas Cowboys 2018. This is the team right here. This is a fresh sheet of paper. No blemishes right now at all. This team can be, everybody on this depth chart here can have a ring on their hand, you know. They could be the next team. This right here, right now, in the moment of time, this can be everything. So we all need to have that mind, that type of focus, that type of thought track going on. You know what I mean? We need to have that going, man. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick shout out to everybody who participated on the Facebook panel side. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, being part of the thing. It's always a pleasure for you guys talking, commenting. Don't forget to smash that share button, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the notification squad. Samuel Johnson, join the notification squad, man. I see you out there, man. Shout out to you too as well, Chad Holmes and Eric, my guy Kerry Teagle, Brandon Ross, Jay Riss, Tony Tapia Jr. Thank you guys for tuning in. Jamal Anderson, yes, my brother from another mother. This is a good show. Thank you, man. I love those words of just pushing my mind to the next level, because we can get there one way or another. All we have to do is step down and stomp on the devil. We're going to get this thing going because, hey, I would not be able to do this without you all. And you guys know that this team, there is a possibility, there's hope, there is a way that this team can pull everything together. The resources, we just need one or two pieces. Yes, we scrub through this team like a fine-tooth comb. Yes, we look at everything from A to Z on this team, but this team right here, this team can be the team. All we have to do is, hey, although look at the man that's clapping upstairs. Look at that guy right there clapping. We have to be the motivational factor for this team. Hey, I think that positive minds pulled together, it brings positive things. So if we can get this thing together, we will win. Think about this, Ezekiel Elliott. Let's look at the positive. Let's look at the positive. Let me tone this down just a little bit. Let's look at the positive right here on Ezekiel Elliott. And I'm gonna say this before I run. This is the positive altogether. The positive aspect of Ezekiel Elliott is the simple fact that he don't have to worry about this Roger Goodell situation. The other positive thing is now that Dak Prescott, he's going into his third year. He knows the shortcomings. He lived the highest of the highest with the Dallas Cowboys when everybody said that, okay, he's better than Starbuck, he's better than Troy Aikman, he's better than Tony Romo. He lived that moment. Now he was shut down, kicked down, and he was stumped upon when he didn't show up in big games last year, right? So now that he knows he's been at the highest peak of the Cowboys and he's been at the lowest. Now all he had to do is pull his resources together and just stay focused and say, okay, we can win this game inch by inch, and he can do that with Ezekiel Elliott. He can do that with the mindset of what he know that he went through from last year. All we have to do is win one game at a time, guys. I think that he understands that now. And this offensive line, I really think that collectively, the Dallas Cowboys, they understood what happened last year with the Byron Bales of the world and also the Chaz Green. Both of those guys, guess what? They're not on this team. That even rhymes. So we're going to say this right here with the Byron Bales of the world and also the Chaz Greens. They not even on this team. We're going to say that again. So they know that they uncovered their mistakes and they said to themselves, okay, we're going to try to elevate those small end positionings. And now that we got a Connor Williams, and even though my guy, the center Travis Frederick is out, don't sleep on Looney. Looney said that he has a rapport with Dak Prescott already, and Looney, he's a mauler as it comes to the run technique. He can maul over, he push you down. He's not Travis. No, he's not that. You just don't replace that just like that. But what I'm saying is that this team is a run first team. We will be okay in that category. Now, as far as the wide receivers, yes, you can have your question marks on that. But guess what? The other teams do too as well. So they don't know what's coming. So that's the benefit to us. They don't know who Michael Gallup is. They really don't understand what Allen Hurns can do behind this particular offense. And then on top of that, they don't know. Everybody already discounted Trayvon Austin. So I think that Trayvon Austin is a better Lucky Whitehead. He's a better guy that can do the reverse sweep better than Switz. So this is a better team collective. I do know that we can still have our reservations on the tight end play, but guess what? We still are a run first team. And I can just put, I'm not going to say I can just put any tight end out there to run a 5-yard dig, shallow T option, route option, Y option route. You can't just do that with any tight end. But what I'm saying here is that now you can still at least say to yourself with this, Jamize Olawale, he can flex him to the halfback, and as well as what the this team is working with the new wide receiver coach, I think that the tight end can at least be formidable. Just that. That's all the time I have for right now. Don't forget to share this content, tell a friend about my page, and let's get this thing going one way or another. Peace. And remember, you're listening to Nothing But the Bass. I'm out. All right. Yeah. I see y'all, man. Subscribe to this channel, baby. Yeah. Subscribe. Got the podcast. Join that podcast, baby. Yeah. Mount up. Grow this nation. Let's go, baby. Salute.